Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, we're going to go ahead and give a quick reaction to UFC 301 because, I mean, a lot of people didn't really like this card. A lot of people didn't really hype this card up too much, but I think it definitely delivered in terms of entertainment. And let's go ahead and talk about the first fight of the night, which was Barajo versus Paul Craig. Of course, in our predictions video, we picked Barajo to win this fight, and of course, yes, he did. He beat a very tough Paul Craig. He was pretty much just walking him down, doing whatever he freaking wanted to do in the open stance, occasionally landing a 1-2, and was pretty much just able to end the fight via TKO in the second round. Very impressive thing from Barajo. I think the UFC is definitely gonna try to push this guy. I mean, he's 16-1 in the middleweight division, a very, very tough division. And I think we're probably going to start seeing Barajo main events in the Apex very, very soon. He has a very impressive record going for him right now. A very, very tough opponent. And I can't wait to see what he does in his division. Now, the next fight of the night was this fight was pretty freaking crazy because Michel Pereira, which was the next fight in the middleweight division, he did a freaking backflip against Poteria and was able to submit him in the first round. Did a freaking quick work of this, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just tell you, whenever you guys have crazy highlights like that, the UFC are down to try to push you as much as possible. So I think that's exactly what we're going to see from Michel Pereira. Expect to see a big fight for him coming up next in the future for him. Now, for Anthony Smith, bro, look, we predicted this fight, ladies and gentlemen, and we picked Anthony Smith to lose in this fight. In my opinion, I feel like Vitor Petrino probably would have ended this fight if he would have fought a lot smarter, but he was doing some reckless stuff, some questionable decision making, in my opinion. And Anthony Smith was able to just seal the deal on him. And yeah, that just goes to show that there is actually levels to this stuff in the UFC. I mean, a couple videos ago, I was saying I have no idea why Anthony Smith is even ranked, and he shut me up tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think a lot of it has to do with Vitor Petrino doing really, really questionable decisions in the octagon, and Anthony Smith, of course, being the veteran, was just able to pretty much take advantage of some positions and just end the fight in round one because of that. And let's go ahead and talk about the co-main event, ladies and gentlemen, because I made a whole freaking predictions video about this. And of course, we're going to have a whole bunch of people talking crazy about this video. But I honestly thought that Jonathan Martinez was going to win this fight. And look, he went the distance with Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is not no freaking walk in the park. He is one of the greatest featherweights of all time. And of course, he went down to bantamweight, but it's freaking Jose Aldo. I think Jonathan Martinez looked decent, right? But against Jose Aldo, you're definitely going to have to watch out for his boxing. And in the predictions video that I made about Jonathan Martinez, that's exactly what I thought Jose Aldo was going to do. His game plan was going to try to close the distance on Jonathan Martinez and try to land heavy combinations. Not too crazy combo, like super crazy numbers of combinations, but just simple shit like a 1-2 or a cross hook or a cross or a hook cross, pretty much just combinations that are difficult to defend whenever you are in the open stance. For those guys that don't know what the open stance is, it's pretty much just southpaw versus orthodox, which is what we saw. And yeah, Jose Aldo did his thing. He did his thing whenever he was pretty much just crossing the distance on Jonathan Martinez. And in my opinion, Jonathan Martinez should have definitely implemented some things to keep Jose Aldo in range. Maybe a little bit more feint, maybe some teeps, maybe some push kicks, right? Right now, Jonathan Martinez definitely needs to go back and film study against like the film study from tonight against Jose Aldo, because yeah, there's a lot of things that I would have liked to see Jonathan Martinez improve on, especially on how to control opponent distance wise, because it kind of just felt like Jose Aldo was just walking down Jonathan Martinez at times. And yeah, hopefully Jonathan Martinez is able to recover. I mean, he's still pretty young, so maybe he's just 2-3 wins away from still being, that one underrated fighter that everybody seems to be thinking that Jonathan Martinez is. I mean, he is only 19-5. I think that, he still has a bright future. Like I said, I think he's like 30, 31. So that's still pretty young in a fighter's career. I think he did pretty well. He went the distance with Jonathan Martinez. I mean, with Jose Aldo, and like I said, Jose Aldo's a freaking legend, right? He's a legend in the sport. He's a legend in combat sports. It's a guy that has a Muay Thai base, right? But yeah, good stuff by Jose Aldo. Did exactly what I thought he'd do if he were to win this fight. And good stuff by Jose Aldo. Now let's go ahead and talk about the main event because this came as a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Alexander Pantoja versus Steve Erceg was definitely something that it definitely caught me by surprise. I know that there was a lot of creators out there and a lot of YouTubers that were making videos about Steve Erceg and pretty much just saying that, oh, this guy could definitely beat Alexander Pantoja, and I really wasn't buying into it. If I'm just being completely honest, if let's just keep things a buck, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Erceg was ranked number 10 in the flyweight division, right? There is no in MMA math, pretty much, there is no reason why he should beat the champion in Alexander Pantoja. But let me just say that going into the 5th round, it could have gone, if Steve Erceg would have found a moment, hey, you know what I'm saying? He could have been champion tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And that came at a complete freaking surprise. Shout out to Steve Erceg. He definitely did his thing, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that the UFC is definitely going to try to place Steve Erceg in a successful position in his next fight, if I'm just being completely honest. And that just goes to show that in the smaller divisions, the flyweight divisions, the freaking bantamweight divisions, like everything is so quick and technical, right? It moves really, really fast, right? And like the decision making has to be like this, right? Like this, especially in the last round when Alexander Pantoja was pretty much counter positioning Steve Erceg on the takedowns and the grappling. That was like, that's crazy. We don't see, pretty much counters like that in the grappling game in the bigger, in the heavier divisions. If I'm just being completely honest, like from what it's worth, if I'm just being 100% real, the heavy divisions should definitely be looking at the flyweight divisions in terms of what they're able to do in the decision making department, ladies and gentlemen, because we saw some great things tonight. I think that the flyweight division has been shit talked so freaking much because there's a lot of people saying that, oh, it's a dead division, nobody freaking watches flyweight, but I disagree. I think that there's a lot of great things coming out of that division. I mean, Steve Erceg just proved that. Number 10 ranked guy. He gave Alexander Pantoja a run for his money, and respect to him. Right, he put up a good fight, and it was really surprising. But Alexander Pantoja, still at the end of the day, was able to prove why he's freaking top dog, why he's champion, and congratulations to him. And that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Tomorrow, though, we are definitely going to be making a video talking about Canelo and Benavidez because, I mean, we just got to we got to make a video about this. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just to make things, pretty clear, it's time for Canelo to fight Benavidez, right? And tomorrow we are definitely going to go in depth of why Canelo needs to fight Benavidez already. But anyways, we'll save that for tomorrow. As always, it's a pleasure talking to each and every single one of you guys. For those of you guys that freaking watched, the live stream, shout out to y'all, man. Love you guys. Anyways, peace out. Have a good one.